We've been lied to about literally everything they've told us for the past 50, 60 years. The food supply is poisoning us, and we were meant to eat as human beings in a carnivorous way. End of story.
Hi guys, welcome back to Carnivore Granny Chats. Today we have a special guest. Tracy Beanz is with us, and we are excited to hear her story and her thoughts on carnivore. So welcome, Tracy.
Thank you for having me here and your beautiful family. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for sharing your time with us. We really appreciate it. And I know my viewers are going to be super excited to see what you have to say. So we'll start off with what inspired you, and I think your husband's carnivore too, to go carnivore?
It really was, I'll just start by saying it has been one of the most revolutionary, amazing things that we've ever done. I've been with my husband almost 20 years now. And I guess both of us, women, we go through like our ups and downs and weight gain and, starting menopause and all of the nonsense and childbirth and everything. And we kind of are like this. And I have a little bit of my own health journey, but the reason I started carnivore was really because of my husband. So my husband was morbidly obese. He was about 400 pounds. He's about 5'8", 5'9". And he'd always been that way since the day I met him. And since when he was a little kid too. And in 2017, he had an MS flare. So he had optic neuritis, and he had some lesions on his thoracic spine, and he had some lesions on his cervical spine. And it still, as they tried to sort through that mess, he started getting a little more health conscious, but it was always fast food. It was always, food that now we would be like, oh my gosh, it's poison. And the craziest thing about why he started this was he went to the doctor, he got his physical, and every year his physical would come back, everything's good. And I would kind of get a little angry about it, actually, because I'm like, I want him to just be a teeny bit unhealthy, because maybe then I can nudge him to make a change. But when your labs are coming back good, no diabetes, no blood sugar issues, no A1C problems, everything fine, it's kind of hard to get somebody to make a change. And his cholesterol, his total cholesterol was a little high. And he was like, that's it. I can't do this anymore. My cholesterol's high. I don't want to die of heart. Now, knowing what we know now about total cholesterol, granted, it wasn't good cholesterol, but it's funny that in retrospect, so he started looking into different ways, and he found keto first. And then I was just scrolling online because I'm a journalist, and I'm a health journalist, which makes it even more crazy. And I'm scrolling online, and I find Michaela Peterson's video where she's talking about her TED Talk being banned. And I'm like, what the heck did they ban her for? Let me go take a look at this. And it was on carnivore. And I'm like, well, this is a little extreme, but I'll send it to Will because it says here it helped her autoimmune disease. And, you've got MS, maybe look into this and just be careful because it's really extreme. And he's like, I'm doing it. And I'm like, okay. That's kind of crazy that you're just going to cut everything out. You're going to cut all the vegetables out and everything. And he's like, yes. I'm like, okay, well then I'll do it too. And that was it. 3 weeks in, I started feeling better. I didn't even really realize how sick I was until after I started, eating clean and kind of getting into a groove. My husband, less than a year in, had already had improvement in his lesions on his thoracic spine. And now they're gone. They're gone. I've shared the MRI reports of that to prove it to everybody because people tend to say that I'm lying when I say it, but they're gone. And he has lost, now 230 pounds or so. He had clinical depression his whole life. That's gone. He had insomnia. That's gone. He had low testosterone. That's fixed. He had his MS, obviously, is his vision has improved. He's seeing 20/20 now. His peripheral vision has improved light years from what it was. His MS lesions are basically disappearing and healing themselves. And I had a condition called IIH that is gone for me. That's like when your brain thinks it has a brain tumor and creates too much spinal fluid. And so you deal with vestibular symptoms, vision symptoms, visual symptoms and stuff, swelling of the optic nerves and all kinds of other stuff. That's gone. For that condition, they put you on a diuretic with a vitamin supplement, potassium, and they tell you to limit your salt intake to about 700 milligrams a day. So I kicked all those meds to the curb and just started, consuming copious amounts of beautiful finishing salt. And I'm so much better than I was. And I think I've lost close to 50 pounds now over 3.5 years. I just feel amazing. My hair grew back. My spiritual life is a million times better. Our marriage is better. Our kids are better. Our life in general is just positive and optimistic. And it's been revolutionary. And I talked a lot now, so I'll be quiet, but it's been life-changing. Like the pictures, if you could see of me even and him, we're not swollen, we're not inflamed, we're not sick anymore. We're not achy in the morning when we wake up, our knees don't hurt, all the things. So yeah.
Yeah, your story sounds so similar to ours, like just so similar. Like I had studied it for a couple years before I said anything to anybody really about it. And because my husband, we would like to research a lot. And so I knew he has to come to things in his own time, and he does the same for me. And so I just kind of waited, and he came across the video and was like, "Hey, we got to do this carnivore diet." And I was like, "Yep, let's go." That fast, like, let's do it.
I've been waiting for this day.
Yeah. And I had no idea. Like I came to it from the historical side where I just wanted to eat what we were designed to eat. And so that's where I came to it. And all of the garbage in the food, I'm like, that can't be good for you. If it rots your teeth, what's it doing to your soft tissue inside? Like, know, so that's how I came to it. So I had no idea that I needed to lose weight, that I would heal anything, so
yeah. Yeah, it's amazing. Like I've been a health freedom, I don't even want to use activist for lack of a better word, since 2005 or so. And so I've been in the health kind of, I've known all like Monsanto is bad and why, and glyphosate and, vaccines. And I've kind of explored every different facet and angle, but never myself did I realize that I was like legitimately poisoning myself with what I was eating. Like seed oils weren't really a thing back then. Like it wasn't so well known. There weren't a lot of people talking about it, but I've kind of gone through this journey where now I'm like, all right, well, this is it. Like if we want to heal metabolic dysfunction across the population, if we want to heal, type 2 diabetes, and even type 1 diabetics can benefit from carnivore. If we want to help these people to be healthy, this is the way to go, at least to start. A lot of people say, oh, I don't think I can keep that up. But you don't realize, like, once you start introducing things back in, if you go that route, it's just not worth it. This is the way we're designed to exist, in my opinion. So, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I know when I'll try to add stuff. Like my husband, he can eat whatever and he's fine. It drives me nuts. Like he'll go and splurge and have a piece of pizza and he's fine. But me, and I'm like 2 bites in, I'm like, nope, I am good. Either it doesn't taste good or it just doesn't sit well, and it's so funny. I only have one Achilles heel, and that's ice cream. Like that's the thing I have a hard time turning down. But luckily there's carnivore-ish ice cream, that you can make carnivore. Like we've made just the eggs and heavy whipping cream, and it's pretty good. It's really good. So there is that, but that's everything else. I'm just like, yeah, I'm good. I don't even want to touch a veg. Don't want to touch any fruit, nothing.
I found that for me, having some blueberries every day has helped me quite a bit, because I got super acidic to the point where I was kind of like feeling it. So I'm like, you know what, let me just throw a couple blueberries in, maybe because I'm a woman, I need a little bit. So literally just a small handful of blueberries after I eat my beautiful ribeye at lunch, and I'm golden. And my triglycerides were sliced in half on carnivore. And it was funny because my doctor snuck it in. They were doing like other routine stuff, and they were like, they snuck a lipid panel in just because they probably wanted to catch me, right?
Yeah.
Because I told her what I was doing and she was like, you have to have sugar. I'm like, did you hear what you just said? Listen to what you just said. And then she just kind of looked at me and I'm like, tell me why I need sugar. Please. No. Like, well, you really should have some carbohydrates. Why? Why? So she snuck a lipid panel in there to like prove to me that I was probably going to die from high cholesterol. My triglycerides were literally half of what they were before I started. My HDL was like 60 something. My LDL, the ratio was perfect. My total cholesterol was higher than the quote normal should be. But the normal is just an average of all the unhealthy people. So half of them on statins, you know, they just take an average of everybody and say, this is normal. That's normal for a sick population, maybe, but not necessarily for a healthy one. So all of these myths and stuff get dispelled pretty easily when you know, you just look at somebody, how do you feel? I feel great. Well, you need to change. You need to go back to eating sugar. What? They try to get my husband on a statin so many times. It's just crazy.
And it's so necessary, you know, it's just, yeah. And that's the thing. Once I learned that those ratios, those, you know, boundaries are just your average sick person, you know, your population of your town.
Yep.
Well, I look around town and, you know, it's not exactly a super healthy town. So what is this comparison, you know?
It's pretty crazy the way they've changed over time. And like, I mean, you can research that. And I always say, like, if you do a lifestyle like this, which is not a diet, this is literally a way of life. You'll find that you kind of go down a whole, you want to know everything about everything after that. Like once you start to feel better and that cloud of that fog is gone from your, you know, from your everyday function, you start to want to learn everything and you dive in. And then, you know, you'll explore every different way, like paleo, and you'll look at keto and you'll look at this and you'll likely come to the same conclusion that we've been lied to about literally everything they've told us for the past 50, 60 years. The food supply is poisoning us, and we were meant to eat as human beings in a carnivorous way. End of story. Like anybody that ever comes at me and starts to argue, like, we're omnivores. And I'm like, why do we only have one stomach? You know, like, just answer these questions. They're simple questions. Nobody can. And Dr. Ken Berry was really a catalyst for my husband. He consumed every last moment of that content. Dr. Sean Baker, who I've become friends with now, which is crazy. Like and I think it's just a function of the fact that whenever there's somebody who actually knows what they're talking about and experiences this, that has a voice to talk about it and does, you want that person to be friends with you, because like there were a few of us and we need to share this knowledge with everybody, because I am a firm believer that healthy people are just ungovernable and completely free. And that's my goal, is to make everyone ungovernable. So.
Oh, I love it. That's so me. Like, I always say, I want everybody to feel as good as I do, friend or foe. Like, I don't care who you are. You have the right to feel this good. Like, we have been poisoned and lied to about so much. I know, you know, that it's, and food's just like this much of it, that it's like, at least we can take back this freedom. Like, at least we can take back this knowledge. And the more people I meet, and, you know, I went to a meetup here with Healing Humanity and it was amazing, you know, just absolutely fabulous. And just being in that room with all the like-minded people was just elating, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And like, that's why like what you're doing with your channel and like how you're getting this information out to folks is so important. And I feel like truly when somebody is passionate about something and they know that like I'm placed here right now so that I can do this, right? So that I can share this information, so I can share this knowledge. It comes from such an amazing place that it is just infectious. There's just no way around it. It spreads. There's nothing stopping it. And that's where we're at right now, I think, at a critical mass, which is why I'm working with Maha, because I think that this is literally going to change the world. You know, everything about taking our health back into our own hands is going to change the trajectory that we were on, because we deserve that. Whoever you are, like you said. Mm-hmm. I think that if people were healthy, we'd have a lot less fighting.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there is the carnivore calm. That's what we call it. Yeah. It's nice, just, right? It's so not like, it's just so, you can throw any stress at me and it's just like, yeah, cool. Okay, whatever, Whereas before I'd be like, I would never have done this before. Like I would have just flipped out, like just been a nervous wreck. I could have never ever done anything like this. I'm used to being behind the camera. So just, and I look forward to it. It's not like I dread it. Like when I was teaching online, like, oh, I got to go online and teach, be in front of a camera. No, it's like, oh, I get to meet somebody new and talk carnivore with them. That's so cool. So
It's awesome. It really is. Like I changed everything about what I was doing to kind of solely focus on this aspect of things because it's such an amazing time. Like it's never happened before what we're living through right now. And there are so many people that I get so many DMs from people like, I really want to start this. Can you help me? And I'm like, yes, to everybody. I say, yes, I can. Yes, absolutely. Yes, I will help you. Like the more people are, taking back control of what they, and then that's the thing. You have a conscious choice every single day. The one thing you have full control over is what you put in your mouth. No matter what, you make the choice to drink the soda or to have water. You make the choice to have a nice steak for lunch or some ground beef or to eat processed food. That's your choice to make. And everyone's always saying it's expensive. No, it's not. I save money on my grocery bill because you get to a point where you probably know you're eating basically once a day until you're full. And I don't need to eat 2 and 3 times a day anymore. I eat once a day and I am fine. Maybe every once in a while I'll have some cheese in the evening, but okay. I mean, cheese is good. So bacon. Sometimes I have bacon at night, but like, it's so easy. It's easy when you're home, not so easy when you travel, but that's a whole different story.
Yeah. So I'm curious. So you're, a public figure and you're out there and get lots of comments and things. What was the public's take when you kind of came out and you were carnivore? How did that go?
Curiosity. There was, some of the vegans came after me, but that's okay. It was curiosity. And, it wasn't out of the realm of possibility that I would do something like this because of what I do. So just by sheer nature of like me learning, I'm constant. And I always say, like, I never will ever ask anybody else to think about something if I'm not doing it myself. That's kind of hypocritical. So after probably about 6 months or so, maybe a little more, I started talking about it. And then I was able to share before and after photos of my husband. And when I did that is when everybody really was like, holy crap, because he like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to show. I don't know if you've seen these or not.
If you send them to me, I can put them up on the.
Yeah. How do I send it? Through Twitter?
Sure.
Yeah, I'll do that while we're talking because it's something. But that was like the driver for people to take notice. It was the weight loss. And I tried to stress, like, it's not just the weight loss. That's an added benefit. Like, he didn't start it to lose weight. That's not why he started doing carnivore. It was just, it happened. It so happened that it happened. But he started carnivore to get well again, to be healthy. And it worked. Here we go. It's on its way to you.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, I can toss that up. Yeah, it's very frustrating when they say, well, I only have 10 pounds left to my goal weight. And I keep saying, you don't get to pick your goal weight.
Right. Yes.
Because I had a lot of I had an identity crisis because I didn't think I needed to lose weight and I lost like 40 pounds or so. And so I thought, I'm too thin. I don't like this. And so I had a good 6-8 months of just not liking the way I looked,
Because you weren't used to it.
I just wasn't. Yeah, I thought I was too thin. I didn't think I needed to lose weight, but I did, because I feel better. And, it took that, when you don't think you need to do something and then it happens, you're like, oh, wait, I guess I did.
It's crazy because there are people that are considered, quote, skinny or underweight that are like, I can't stand to lose any weight. And I'm like, if you don't have any weight to lose, you won't lose weight. Your body is not going to emaciate on carnivore if you're eating a high fat red meat diet. Like, you will either gain weight or you will stay the same in terms of your weight. But the first thing that happens to people is the inflammation. That's the first bulk of weight loss. And then there's a little bit of a plateau. And I think that people expect to see consistently losing 6 to 8 to 10 pounds a month. And it's not like that. There's a definite, like I was stagnant for, months at the same exact weight for months. And I still had weight to lose. And it turned out that I was breaking my fast with cream in my coffee. And that was the thing that was throwing me off. So I went black with my coffee in the morning, and that was it. Boom, picked right back up again. So everybody's different, women especially. And if weight loss is your thing, I think you'll find that everything else is more important than the weight loss, and that becomes the last thing you even think about.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It really is.
The weight loss just becomes secondary, other than you have to buy new clothes constantly.
Which is something, yes, that's one. But you're saving so much money over the long run. The bottom set of pictures is the ones that I would use.
Okay.
The top set there's 6 months in between the top set of pictures.
Perfect.
But the bottom set is, I think, a 1 year. This is from last June.
Perfect. Yeah, I'll pop those up.
Crazy.
That's awesome. Yeah, you look so good now.
It's nuts. I don't even know. I don't even remember the old way, because it was so many things though. Like, I don't think people who are overweight realize like what they're limited to until they're not anymore, and they feel good and they can experience sitting in the theater to watch our kids at a recital and not worrying about fitting in the seat. Little things that, like going to a baseball game and not being self-conscious about yourself. You don't even realize a lot of, like, I see pictures of myself from back then and I'm like, wow. Like, you don't see it until you see it. Like, I was in a documentary film and I saw it and I'm like, that's like, did I really look like that? That's what I looked like. It's crazy. So, and it's just inflammation for me anyway. That's what it was.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can almost see it on other people. It's so funny. We'll go out. I don't go out in public a lot, but when I do, you can see the inflammation in everybody's faces. And then, you can almost see like the carnivore glow. I'm like, hey, are you carnivore?
It's so crazy you said that. I was at a conference just in February, and I was standing in line talking to a bunch of people, and these two older gentlemen walk up to me and they look me in the face and they go, "You're carnivore, aren't you?" And I'm like, "How did you know?" There's something in your eyes. There's a light in people's eyes, he said. And I could tell who they are from like across the room. And they both cured their cancer with carnivore.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Yeah.
You could see it. You could see it in people's face. There's joy.
It is. It's just like, there's no stress. There's just clarity, there's clarity in the eyes. And yeah, it's pretty amazing. I know you're a busy lady and I won't keep you, but I really appreciate your time.
Of course.
Coming on and helping share your story. It was so good to meet you.
It was great to meet you too. And thank you for having me. I always want to share this story with as many people as possible. And please keep doing what you're doing, because if I were scrolling along in the early days and came across one of your videos, it would have been so wonderful and such a breath of fresh air. And you're sharing things in a way that is easy and is relatable and is honest and genuine. And I just love your channel. So thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you so much.
I mean it.
I'm just me. I'm just a granny, and just,
You don't look like a granny, and you're amazing.
Thanks. Thank you so much. But
you're welcome.
Well, it was great to meet you and keep in touch, and yeah, come back whenever you have time.
I sure will. Share the link with me and I'll put it out.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Have a good one.
All right, you too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.